Here is the form we created in a previous lesson. Let me quickly point out that at the bottom it does have a reset form button, but it does not have a submit button. We're going to allow Acrobat to create its own submit button, and that will happen automatically as long as you do not have your own submit button on the form. What we're going to do today is learn how to distribute this form. We're going to learn a couple of different methods. We're going to learn how to use Acrobatcom, which is a free service that comes with your Adobe Acrobat Pro X. And then we're also going to discuss distributing it via email. To begin the process, we open up the Tools pane by clicking Tools. And now that that's open, we go to our Forms area and we click the little triangle and we click Distribute. And upon clicking Distribute, we get this dialog box. This drop down at the top gives us three different methods: using Acrobatcom, using your email inbox, or using an internal server. We'll start with the Acrobatcom option, and again, this is free, assuming you have a legal copy of Adobe Acrobat Pro X. So we'll click Next and Continue. It's authenticating my ID. Let me quickly point out that the first time you use Acrobatcom, it won't be quite as seamless as you saw it work just now. It will direct you to the Acrobatcom site. You'll give them a username and a password and set up an account. But after that, it's a fairly seamless experience. You don't need to revisit the Acrobatcom site. It automatically authenticates your computer and allows you to continue. This field up here is for email addresses. You can either type them in manually, separated by semicolons, or if you like, use the To button, which in this case will access my own Outlook address book, which is the entire global address list for CSU, which is a nice little feature. You choose your names from here, click OK to add them to the dialog box. Both the subject line and the message field are automatically generated by Adobe.com, but these are fully editable, so you can put in whatever language you like. Notice they've changed the name of the form slightly. They've added the word distributed and a number after the name of our form, Computer Apps Registration Form 4. Below that is the access level. You have a couple of choices here: open access or limited access. Open access lets anybody who has the URL fill out and submit the form. We'll talk about how to find out what that URL is in just a second. This is a really nice option if you want to simply post a URL on a website or in an email spread out to the entire CSU Extension community and let the community at large answer the survey. The other option, limited access, only allows those folks who are in your email field up here to answer the form. Either way, you probably want to have Acrobatcom collect name and emails from your recipients to help provide optimal tracking. That's particularly important with open access. We're going to click Send. It's preparing form for distribution. It's extending features, and what that means is it's allowing that end user to save the changes on their form. We discussed this in our last session in these video tutorials. And upon distributing the form, you're given this tracker. We'll expand this out so we can look at it a little bit. This shows you how many folks have responded, how many have not responded. It also allows you, and this is quite cool, to email all your recipients, to add recipients to the list, or to email those who haven't responded yet. We'll look at how to look at the actual data in a later lesson. I want to finish this session on working with Acrobatcom to distribute these forms by showing you the experience from the end user's point of view. And so I'm here in my inbox in Outlook. Here is the email I just sent out to the form we built in the previous tutorials. I'm going to double click that. Here is the email the end user will receive. The link is right here. And when we click the link, we can either download the form to fill it out at a later time or open the form directly to fill it out. Let me quickly pick up a dropped thread from earlier in this tutorial. I was discussing how you can allow anybody with the URL to complete the form and send back the data. You can use the URL up here in the location bar, or alternately, you can use the URL in the email that Acrobat sent you right up here. Either way, if you allow that option, anybody with that link can fill out the form and return the data. We'll now click Open. Here's the form. Here's that same form with some information filled in. Notice that Acrobat has automatically given us a Submit Form button here in the upper right-hand corner. So I'll click that. I'll give them my email address and full name. Acrobat uses that email address to track who has answered the form and who has not. So after I've given them the email address and full name, I'll click Send, and the response has been queued for submission. And that's how to use Acrobatcom to distribute these forms. We'll talk about collecting the data in a future session.